Welcome back, Officer of the Republic. It's your Coruscant Underworld Police Chief APGAINS. I just finished recording my GAC because I had to run. I thought I'd take an extra 10 minutes to talk about something super important, and that is fleets. As you guys know, we're outclassed 2, 3, 4 million GP every GAC, but we don't let that stop us from getting wins. We've been absolutely dominating and increasing our skill rating. I just made a mistake. I'm going to be upfront with you guys. A mistake. I actually lost this GAC. Our opponent 2-point-something million GP more than us. Extra GLs, extra teams. But we outclassed them in fleets. And I made probably one of the dumbest decisions of all time. I decided to get really cute. And I only needed 60-something banners to win, which means I just needed to beat one of his fleets. So I went for a home one mirror match, knowing that his home one was going to destroy mine because his rebels are super highly relicked and stuff like that, JML and all that stuff. And mine are all like Gear 7, 5-star ships and stuff like that. Lost that. I'm like, okay, well, at least I know my Malevolence will easily mirror match his, and I will get at 71, 72 banners against that battle, right? So I went in, and I got too cute. I brought in like one reinforcement. I just like prayed that they were only going to go after my Vulture Droids, and then they killed my normal fleets, didn't go after my Vulture Droids, and I lost. So instead of going after the home one and easily securing the W for the whatever week in a row using ships only defense, I got really cute and made a mistake. And then I realized that even though my fleets are way, way, way better than my opponents, even though he's got millions more GP, extra GLs, I realized that fleets can always be better, and fleets are literally probably the only really important part of GAC at this point, because so many people are punching up way above their weight class where like their characters aren't really coming into play. A lot of times, characters don't come into play. I don't know why I just opened up the journey guide. And now I'm realizing that more than ever, the Interceptor and maybe pushing some relics on my rebels and stuff like that and getting my Empire fleet up and running is going to be incredibly, incredibly, incredibly important. Obviously, all of you guys know that fleets are important, but I just want to emphasize that you can always be improving your fleets. Because if you guys are like me and you're punching up millions of GP each opponent, you're up like in Kyber 4. If I won this match, I probably would have won the next two. Would have been up in Kyber 3. This account for where it's at, for how skill-based matchmaking should work, for where my account's at, which should be like a Rhodium something. But we're punching up into Kyber, going into mid-Kyber because of fleets. Because if I can get my top-end fleets stronger than their top-end fleets, it's impossible to like two-shot fleets oftentimes for most players. Not every player plays in the end game where you're always going to full clear no matter what. And if you can't one-shot the Executor, oh well, you just bring in a cleanup and two-shot it. That's not where most players exist in this space in the game. And I feel like it'd be just ingenuous to talk about that. I was going to say that's kind of a glitch there. So I realized that as we start to go up from, only facing opponents that are 2.5, 3 million to on average, 4 million GP. If we want to keep winning those matches, we have to do two things with our fleets. We have to make sure that our top-end fleets, our negotiators and our executors, are as good as they can possibly be, which means I'm probably going to have to put a couple more relics on 5s, get Anakin up to maybe relic 7 or something like that. And for executor, I probably have to, well, there's no free way to do it, so it's going to be slow going right now, but eventually get my BAM up to relic and 6 and 7 star my Razor Crest. Put a couple of relics on these guys to make sure that they're nice, juicy, and strong. Because if I'm 4.5 million, let's say I'm 5 million GP, my opponent's 9 million GP, right? It's going to be super important that my top end fleets beat theirs. Because if I'm 5 million GP and I'm playing a person who's 9 million GP, there's a hole in their roster, and oftentimes for most players, you will find that hole is going to be ships. Because it's easy to wail on a lot of stuff, and people really want to wail on the characters. So usually the players who are bad are the players who spend lots of money early. They're not exactly great players. They leave some stuff behind, but they just spend money to get the flashy stuff, the GLs, the SLKRs, the Kenobis, the Scar Killers, all that stuff, right? And they leave behind the most important part of the roster, which is the fleets. So when we're punching up, that's what punching up is. We're going against worse players who have more stuff. And when we do the fleet-only defense, like this is actually like probably one of the best GAC strategies that I have found, especially in the new system of how GAC works. Disregard this. Like if I had a singular brain cell, I would have just attacked this fleet with my Malevolence, beat it for 72 banners, won the GAC, and then just called it there. But we were recording, and the video was kind of taking a meme turn, and I was like, oh, let's just fucking do this and that and the other. So that was user error. Like 99% of you guys aren't going to be as dumb as I am, or 99% of you guys aren't going to be recording the video and wanting to do something funny and wacky and dangerous to try and up the excitement level. But this is, I don't like people who poo-poo this as a valid strategy, because this is probably the best Grand Arena strategy that there is. Because the way the matchmaking system works now is you're not going against equal opponents. You're going against opponents who are much stronger. And a lot of your opponents are going to know that they can save a certain amount for offense and then place a certain 2 or 3 teams on defense that you're going to have trouble with, and they know that's going to stall you. Like for our opponent, he had 2 GLs, more teams, much more GP. He thought I was going to place my Kenobi, right? So he placed his Kenobi, and then like Qui-Gon, and then like some other random teams. And then on the back wall, like he's hiding this. He's saving a lot for offense. So we're going to give him offense. We're going to give him max banners. We're going to know that he can't beat our ships, or at least he's not going to be able to beat our ships as efficiently, assuming that I have brain cells, of course. You know, if I was playing this on my phone and not recording it being an idiot, you know, this is an easy dub. We've won 100 of these battles at this point. And since you have everything for offense, you know, your opponent, what he thinks is a Stonewall defense is not a Stonewall defense. I could have probably mirror matched this and one-shot it, but instead I tried to do something cute because, you know, I was just memeing around. We went gas snipe, and then we brought in gas to clean up. And then we one-shot high banners, everything else, and we set ourselves up to be in a good position to win. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot. But what I've learned is that as I punch up more, maybe Kyber 2, Kyber 3, Kyber 2, I have to make sure that my top-end ships are stronger, and I have to make sure that I have that 4th fleet. Because if my 4th fleet was, say, once I have the Interceptor, if my 4th fleet was, you know, the Chimera, and I relicked my Thrawn and all that stuff, if I went Chimera, you know, TIE Bomber, Imperial TIE Pilot, you know, Gauntlet, TIE Advance, like if I had this fleet, I could have one-shot as Rebels. I would have already been in a better position. Even if I failed that, I could go in, you know, with like a Mace Windu fleet and clean that up really easily, and then have my Malevolence for the mirror match, or go vice versa, and it would have been an easy full clear as opposed to me being an idiot and doing that. So I fell into this trap of knowing that my ships are better than my opponents, but I forgot that as I go up and up in skill rating and facing opponents with massive, like going from massive differences to exponentially massive differences, you have to scale those fleets along with you. I kind of got complacent in the fact that my fleets are much better than all of my opponents, and forgot that they can always be improving, because the opponents are always going to be improving, because we're always going to be winning our GACs. So I just had this realization after, you guys are going to see the video. I'll probably post the video the day before or the day after this video comes out. Maybe on the same day, who knows. So if you end up watching that video, let me know that you saw this video as well in the comment section. I love reading and replying to all your comments. And I just sit there in astonishment at how dumb I was. Completely avoidable, but then I had the realization that, you know, if I had won that, my opponents would only get harder, and my ships would need to be better. So don't be an idiot. Don't make the same mistake APGAINS made. Always be farming fleets. I know they're boring. I know they're hard. I know they're not accelerated. You always got to farm them. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.